Hey guys, it's me, Kara. So I'm gonna be talking about Ex Machina. I think I'm saying that right. If not, sorry. This movie is written and directed by Alex Garland, and this is actually his first directorial debut, which is pretty cool. So a programmer at Blue Book, he wins a chance to participate in an experiment with an AI and a scientist. Pretty cool, right? It's kind of scary. This movie has been really praised by critics and audiences, and as someone who really appreciates film and everything that is involved in it, this movie is the best sci-fi film I think I've ever seen in my entire life. I honestly, after I saw this movie, I could not think of a movie that could top this. I thought this movie was so grand and so exquisitely crafted. The script is smart and scientific and intelligent, and you could tell the writer Alex Garland had a lot of background on the subject of AI. Yet at the same time, this movie was unnerving and it really hit a part of me, and I was on the edge of my seat a lot of the time watching this film. Domhnall Gleeson and Oscar Isaac, I mean, both of them, they have immense great chemistry as an employer and employee, and Oscar Isaac is this big scientist and he drinks his days away and he parties it up and he tries to exert and purge out all the alcohol in the system by like working out, and he's very mysterious. I mean, what I think is so grand about movies today is having characters that are really richly developed, but at the same time they develop a mystery, and you have the trailers and previews, and when you first see it, your interpretation of the character is pretty solid, and then as the film unfolds, you start to really doubt the person's intellect and doubt their questions and doubt everything about them, really. And I think that's what's cool about Ex Machina is it's different. I had doubts and I had superstitions and I was very puzzled, and that I think is a very cool element to a sci-fi film. One performance in particular just really blew me away, and I honestly think it was the best performance I think I've seen from a female in a really long time, and that is from Ava. Alicia, who plays Ava, has had like a huge dance background. Before she actually started doing acting, she was a dancer. I saw interviews of her and she said that she really got her movement from her dance background. And you know, I kind of was like, well, she's not really dancing or performing, but in a sense, a robot is a machine that performs and does tasks. And when you really look at Ava as her being that machine, and you know, having that gray suit on and part of it CGI'd with the beautiful effects, how Ava moves and how there's like little noises that alter as she's moving around, just kind of like a real robot would, I think it's brilliant. And what I loved about it was I felt like she was a human. I felt these human emotions, but at the same time, there was an inkling and like an itch at the back of me telling me this is not really, she's not really a human. And I mean, when you give a robot a face and when you give a robot like human features, it makes it seem real, and it's a little too terrifying for the eye to behold. You feel like she is a human, but at the same time she's not. And but she displays these very humanistic attributes of love and emotion and caring and artistic creativity, and I think that's really cool about Ava. She displays so many humanesque traits that it's hard for us not to fall in love with her when bad things happen to her in the film or when these obstacles get in the way. I mean, I wanted her to be real, but at the same time I knew that wasn't the case because she is AI, but I loved how it tricked me a lot, and I kind of forgot about it. And I love how Oscar Isaac does so many different and contrasting roles. I mean, he always does something completely different. This movie was, I think, really good for him, and obviously Domhnall Gleeson playing the guy who experiments with Ava, who he tends to kind of fall in love with. I think Ava is really something more than what regular audiences will understand. I think Ava is, she's a question. She's questioning our whereabouts and our technological evolutions and advances and everything like that. I wasn't bored in this movie at all. I wasn't bored, but I think it was a little bit slow paced, but as it unfolded, it was really cool. I really want to tell you guys, but I can't because I want you guys to be surprised just as much as I was, but you'll definitely be surprised by this movie. I don't have a doubt in my mind that won't happen. The other characters were great, and the cinematography was gorgeous, just beyond beautiful. Facility where they experiment with Ava, very beautiful set design. I hate saying it, but that movie made me want to be in that building, even though terrible things were happening or really messed up stuff was happening. Loved the score in this movie, but some people may think it's kind of like weird that I like it, but I think what was so cool about the score was it really helped add a component to Ava as a character, because there are parts in the movie where she gets very human and she looks very emotional and she's looking at you with these big doe eyes. It is romantic, and that's kind of like twisted and weird that I'm saying that, but I think it's a romantic portrayal of us, of humans really, because I think humans, they are very desired by just looking and contact and sexuality and all these really really cool things. I loved how fairy-like and magical and, you know, innocent the score was with Ava in some parts, and then some parts when it gets alarming, there's very loud noises, like very loud contrasting sounds that really terrify you. How the score got so gentle and so innocent, and then it got so dark and twisted. It was very, I love the contrast in that, and it kind of reminded me of books I read in high school about like dystopian futures, like Fahrenheit 451, 1980, 1984, like all these crazy books about society, and like The Giver, just these really interesting messages about like how this is connected to our society now. It's kind of satirical, which I think is cool, and kind of giving us a lesson about should we pursue AI in our future, and is that a good idea? Is that the next step to mankind's existence? Overall, I think this movie made me just become more self-aware, and I think it was very interesting. This is the best movie I've seen so far this year. I mean, it's topping Cinderella and it's topping all these other movies. But just because of its uniqueness, even though it's like a robot movie and it's kind of been done before, it still screams unique and exquisite. I think if you guys do not watch Ex Machina, you seriously are missing out on one of the most exquisite, riveting, page-turning, interesting, beautiful, gargantuous, I don't know. I really appreciate this movie, and if you guys don't even really care for sci-fi, but if you guys like dystopian type of films, like maybe like Hunger Games or Divergent or all these other, like, you know, dystopian type of films, I honestly think this movie is going to be topping Jurassic World and all these other summer blockbusters this year. I really think it is award worthy, and I think it's brilliant. I really want to see this movie again. I mean, I loved it that much. So please go see Ex Machina, you guys, and I'll talk to y'all later. You guys can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. The links are down below. Alright, love you. Bye.